So while our next speaker is the Human Resource Director at Microsoft France, she's here today to talk about how to create the best conditions for employees to be more agile and become an ambitious actor of their professional development and employability, and how everyone can contribute to the success of the company. She's already here. Ladies and gentlemen, Caroline Bloch. Thank you.
That's okay, you hear me? Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity of sharing. That's a bit impressed, and I hope we will share all together. So the idea today, I'm Caroline Bloch, and I am the HRD from Microsoft for about now 6 years. And the idea is to share with you our experience regarding the way we try to work on how to personalize the relationship with Microsoft. And I was thinking in my car this morning about this super important subject as HR, as everybody. And I thought to myself that there is a paradox, and I will try just to illustrate it with two kind of examples of action we try to do in Microsoft to make it real, this question of a relationship personalized with the employee. There is a kind of paradox, and it happens very often when you are working in HR, because we have many paradoxes to manage, is to increase the personalization of employee relationship with the company. You need probably to push the collective power. And this is interesting because to make it happen, the collective side of the power of a company is super important. So I will try to share with you how we try to do that. First of all, the relationship with employees starts with the culture. We know that. The point is how to make it happen, to move from the culture to the day-to-day. And we were super lucky in company because Satya arrived three years ago, and he changed the culture, and he speaks every day, and we speak every day about this growth mindset culture. What does it mean? That means there is something collective we have to develop together. And behind what is important to understand in these 10 minutes is to understand how our culture is working. So you will see that in Microsoft today, we try for each employee to create the environment to let them become a learner. That means moving from a knower to a learner. And try to develop our ability to be open to ideas, take risks, and embrace challenge together. And the challenge in the day-to-day is to move from this culture, focus on collective learner and agility, and to make it happen. So the first things we decided to do, and our previous speakers spoke about that, was to change our system of reward. Because what we say, which is important regarding the culture, when you want to land a culture, that means start from the ideas to the day-to-day. Culture is the result of various behavior, values, etc. You are supported or you discourage. And we change our performance system. And what did we do in this change? We moved from providing result to impact. So you can say, yeah, this is just only kind of words. No, these are not only words. Now we ask to every employee, and this is the case for me in the day-to-day, when I'm delivering my result, to combine three things. The first point is my key achievement. I'm HR, so probably I have things to do regarding talent management and recruitment. The second ask to me is, how do I invite others to contribute to my results? And the last one is, how do I respond positively to the invitation of others to provide their job? And this is typically the way we are moving from the culture by being learner, open to risk and collective to the collective side of the power. And here you can see that, coming back to the beginning of what I said, there is a kind of paradox, because to make sure that every employee feels able to realize what he wants to do in the company, you have to push the individual side and you have to push the collective side. And that's impressive because we changed this performance system 2 years ago, and it totally changed and increased the power. And it creates and it reinforces, I would say, the way we are working as a community of employees by being able, each of us, to develop ourselves. So I'm telling that because we have some results of our pulse we do every year, and employees' satisfaction is about 86%, so we can say that it starts to work. So this is the first example I would like to share with you on how we create this personalized environment for each employee. It starts with this culture and the way we land it. The second, and there is many things we can do for a day. The second thing is at the opposite of this question of reward system, is related to the energy we put in Microsoft to create this famous flexible and agile environment. There is two things you will see after. We created, and particularly in France, we put that on that way on the paper. We created some collective rules to live together in a flexible way. That means there is 4 rules. We call it 4-4. This is 4-4. These are our rules. These are the collective rules we are working together. Very simple, so you won't find something extraordinary, but very simple. These are some flexible rules. Everybody in Microsoft in France, whatever you are doing in the company, can follow this rule and has to follow this rule. And in this rule, there is things related to flexibility. That means I can work from everywhere. So this is interesting because 4 years ago, we were speaking about home office. Now we speak about remote office. We don't care. This is your choice. And you are responsible for the choice of the place you will work. Of course, if I have a meeting with a customer, I won't stay at home. This is my responsibility, and it works. In this way of principle of flexibility, there is some rules. When you are working in distance, etc., you need to set a certain kind of preparation for meeting. You know that very well. Other things is in the collectivity, we are working in a global company worldwide. So we know that we need to be respectful for the timing of others, okay? First of all, you are not setting meetings after a certain time. You stop to send emails some weeks during the weekend. So many people tell me, does it work? Yes, it works. 85% of people are respecting that. And this is just interesting behind these rules. It creates a framework where every employee can personalize it related to the way it needs to work, the situation, etc. You are not obliged to set the same framework of working every day. However, in this rule, you have to respect the need of others. And here again, to personalize the relationship and reinforce it with the company, there is my choice and the way I'm behaving in the company in a strong collective environment. And the last I would say example I would like to give you regarding the way we try to reinforce this relationship, which is finally a mix of me as an individual responsible for building for a part the collective of this company. This is related to, you can guess it before, to the work environment. The work environment is something super important. We can say, yes, this is some gadget. No, we took a lot of time. So we arrived in this campus in Issy-les-Moulineaux 7 years ago. So we did a first organization of this building, and we changed it 1 year ago. Why? Because the need of employee to build the right relationship changed. And what we decided to do, we decided first to ask to employee what they want. This is the super key rules. We know that this is super important. And in Microsoft, when you open the door of question, we received 2,000 suggestions, so we are super proactive. And finally, we keep for a part. And what we decided to do, we decided to push this flexibility, and I would say we pushed the flexibility by creating some different environment in the campus to answer to the different needs. And I will just show you how it works. No, I pressed the button, but it doesn't want. I have some super pictures I would like to share with you. So first of all, this is the lobby of the company. So here it was very simple. We say this is a place to be open, and we need a place where you can open the door to all visitors. And you will see we classified, if I can say, these different places related to the type of situation. Lobby is a place to be open when you can have open conversation with no need for confidentiality. And we push this in that direction. After, employee told us, okay, there is the open spaces, etc. Here, we don't need to have our own places. We just need some district where we can go every morning, sit down, have a place to recognize our colleagues, but we are mobile, so we don't need some specific places. We want to have some district, and we push that in a dynamic office way, I would say. After, employees said, there is time for us, yes, les cabines téléphoniques, this is super important. I don't know how we say that in English. Phone box, I don't know. So the employee told us we need from time to time to have some personal conversation, and these are super comfortable. You can stay here. We need these places, and it works very well. Sometimes it's a bit surbooked. So this is something, yeah, I can assure you, because that's comfortable. You have some climatization, etc. So you can stay for a quick call, etc. So we said we need some time. So we created that, and employees said that's super important. We also create other places, which are some places to think a bit different, out of the box. These are some creativities room, and so on and so on. The transformation of our campus is, we just took the time to ask to all of us, in this mix of individual and collective culture, what do you need and what are the different places? So here is I would say, the end of my sharing session, if I can say that's finished. Yeah, the last point I would like to share with you related to this question of how to strengthen the relationship between a company and an employee, and moving between this balance between personal and collective, is related to diversity and inclusion. If you want to be a powerful company, if you want to build a powerful collective with respect of each of us, this is super important to work on diversity and inclusion. Satya is super powerful on that, so I could have another conference for 2 hours to speak about that. We are doing something very important in the company with a strong engagement. What is super important is in diversity and inclusion, we were speaking for a long time about diversity in many companies, inclusion. How do I learn to be inclusive, open to ideas, as an employee, as a manager? And this is always the way, and coming back to the paradox I was thinking at the beginning, when I am inclusive with everybody, I can develop myself in a strong collective power, and I can realize myself by having this personalized relationship in a strong collective power. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I wish you a good day.
Thank you, Caroline. I was looking at your pictures. I've been in your premises before. What she didn't tell you, they've got a great TV studio. I love it.
Yes, we have a great of lots of things I didn't spot this.
Thank you very much.